Hi, it's Laura at Aquamarine18 Tarot and Books. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. Welcome. This is a VR to a tag called End of Year Reflections. And this tag was created by Brittany, Priscilla, and Alana, who I will tag in the description box below. I watched this video on Brittany's channel, Cosmic Lunar Soul. I believe that they all simultaneously put the video out live though, so you can watch on any of their channels. And this is as the tag suggests, end of year tag relating to our tarot and oracle practice in 2024, and some kind of general thoughts about how the year went in relation to that. There are 7 prompts, which I have on a piece of paper down here, which is why I'm looking there. I will timestamp my video with the prompts in the description box as well, so you can skip ahead, and we'll get going. So, the first prompt is to share the most used tarot deck in 2024. Now, I will be answering this prompt in a couple of tags. I have a couple of end-of-year tags that I want to do, and I will be giving a different answer in each one, because this is not something that I kept track of this year. It's not something I've ever kept track of. In my page-a-day journal, which this year is the Hobonichi Techo, I do keep track of which decks I used in each month. So for each of the months of 2024, I have a list of decks that I used in the given month, but I didn't keep track of how many times I used each one, or how many readings I did, or how many cards I drew from each one. So whether a deck was used once in a given month or 30 times, it just appears on the list once. So I'm guessing. And I'll make a couple of guesses. And my guesses are decks that I got in either late 2023 or very early 2024 and just really fell head over heels with. All of the decks that I will be showing for this prompt have that in common. So for this tag, I'm going to guess that my most used deck in 2024 might have been Tarot of the Crystal World by Brooke Penrose. This is a deck that I missed when it was initially available. And it was very generously and kindly gifted to me by a TarotTube friend after it had been on my wish list for quite some time. I was really eagerly awaiting it coming back available again, which I believe it is now. This deck, something about this just really works for me. And I don't know, I don't quite know what it is about this deck that appeals to me so much. I mean, I like the color palette. I like the kind of overall vibe of the deck, for lack of better language. There are definitely some really overtly feminist choices in the deck, I would say, which of course I love. It goes with a lot of things in my collection, I would say, in terms of color palette. Like, pairing it with an oracle deck is really easy. It just looks really nice beside a lot of other things. It also came with a little oracle deck itself in the same style. So that's a cool feature. And I use this deck a ton. This does not feel super seasonally specific to me, and it's one that just calls to me a lot. It continues to do so. I feel like maybe this will be a deep dive 2025. We'll see. But Tarot of the Crystal World by Brooke Penrose is definitely a contender for most used deck of 2024. The second prompt is most used oracle deck in 2024. And again, I didn't keep a tally or a count. This year, coming 2025, I'm going to copy my friend Liz over at West Star Tarot and actually keep a count of how many readings I do with each deck in my collection, and I will present that a year from now. But my guess for most used oracle deck in 2024, and this one I feel more confident in actually being accurate. My guess for most used oracle deck 2024 is Nellie's deck. This is by Kelly Fitzgerald of The Truth and Story. And it is a playing card Oracle Lenormand Tarot hybrid deck. Kelly offers a class about Nellie's deck and the accompanying guidebook, which has a story about a lighthouse keeper that goes with it, and a whole kind of backstory of the creation of the deck by this lighthouse keeper character. The book is amazing. So I took the class and I used this deck throughout, of course, and ongoingly. I think this is a really interesting one. It is a deck I think you could use with zero playing card familiarity. I'm not by any means an expert playing card reader. I've done some study, but not nearly as much as I would like to. I would say that it is a playing card oracle first, though, out of all of the systems. The tarot, this key suit, you can see a key there in the corners. These are tarot majors. So you could take those out if you wanted to just use a 52 card playing card deck. And all of the cards that are in a Lenormand deck are in here as well. But you could just read this as a straightforward oracle going by the titles and the pictures. Like farm, for example. You could come up with lots of affiliations with farm without necessarily having a strong sense of King of Diamonds in particular, to take one example. Or you could maybe pull from tarot knowledge and say King of Diamonds, that would correspond to King of Pentacles, and certainly, the figure of perhaps a farmer, could make sense there. You could read this a lot of different ways. Again, this goes with a lot of things. I think it's great in a huge spread. I also think it could be great with just a few cards. I really love Nellie's deck. Definitely, one of my most used, if not most used, Oracle deck 2024. The third question in this tag is biggest disappointments. And when I just saw the list of prompts, I wasn't sure, how broadly this was being construed. Certainly there are plenty of global events that are profoundly disappointing, to say the very least, that have happened in 2024. Initially, I read the list of prompts and I thought it was specifically getting at a deck that was a disappointment, like something that we received and didn't care for, perhaps in the ways that we expected. I don't have anything like that. I am happy with the decks that I received or purchased in 2024, in terms of them being what I expected and things like that. I don't have any glaring deck disappointments to share. I don't have any glaring tarot book disappointments to share. Things were pretty much as I expected. But something that definitely disappoints me, or a constellation of things that I can say is a disappointment in 2024, that was something that was mentioned by Brittany, Priscilla, and Alana in their conversation when they filmed this tag together. I feel like the proliferation of AI, in general, proliferation of AI decks, the relationship between that and I would say maybe disappointment in Kickstarter as compared to previous years, in terms of any time I've just gone to browse Kickstarter, not finding much, which is not to say there haven't been some great campaigns this year. There have, and I have backed a few, but overall, definitely there's some disappointment there, and the proliferation of AI decks, I think, has a lot to do with that for me. I would never knowingly buy an AI deck, or a guidebook that is AI generated for that matter, which I feel like is harder to tell. I feel like more research, is needed at this point in terms of avoiding that, particularly with creators that are new to me. Creators that I've had other items from, I might feel a bit more certain about maybe the mediums that they use and things like that. But definitely there's a level of research that wasn't there before that has to do with avoiding AI decks for me, and that is a problem. I also, you know, would say that the proliferation of AI on YouTube in terms of AI generated comment replies and AI generated video summaries and this kind of shit like make me not want to be here. If I'm completely honest, I would never artificially generate a reply to a comment left on my channel. I'm just going to say that. I value it when people leave me comments. I like to reply or at least give a heart or something, you know. I have immense problems with AI that have nothing to do with or are peripheral to kind of tarot specifically, in terms of kind of environmentalist problems, scholarly integrity problems, you know, problems. And I don't want to turn this tag into a rant about AI, but biggest disappointment in the context of tarot oracle, tarot tube, it is definitely a thing that comes very, very readily to mind. It has, along with some other things, other developments, left me perhaps more like social media and even internet averse than I have been ever. Am I going to end up on PeerTube instead of YouTube? It's possible. I'm researching some of this kind of Fediverse stuff in terms of alternative places to be online, Mastodon, PixelFed, these kinds of things. My Instagram will be gone by the end of 2024. I've downloaded the photos that I wanted, and I'm leaving that behind. So I don't have any immediate plan to leave YouTube completely, but certainly there are some disappointments there, for sure. The fourth prompt in this tag is a deck you wish you worked with more this year. A deck that I got this year that I wish I had worked with more and will work with more in 2025 may surprise people, and that is the Gay Marseille by Charlie Claire Burgess. I backed this on Kickstarter. I also have, from the Kickstarter, I'm working on day planner set up for 2025, so I have a bunch of stickers out. I have a sticker pack that I backed. I have a sticker issue. I buy stickers and then I don't put them anywhere because I'm afraid that I'll wish I put them somewhere else. That's something to work on. I have not used this deck as much as I would like to. I was excited when I got it. I went to a Zoom kind of Marseille class with Charlie Claire Burgess that was part of the Kickstarter campaign that you could get access to by backing the deck. I think that ultimately not using this as much as I would have liked to really just comes down to the fact that for me, this color palette is really summery. You know, for me in terms of when I would reach for this deck, and the deck arrived in March. So, you know, March in Central Ontario is not exactly beachy. And this is a beachy beach party kind of a deck to me. So I think that I just, you know, had it kind of get lost in the shuffle because of the time of year that it came. So this year I want to make a point of working with this deck more because it's a great deck. It's not anything to do with like having any issue with it or disliking it or being unhappy with it in any way. I really like this deck. I just haven't gotten to it as much as I would like. So that is the Gay Marseille. The next prompt is a tarot/witchcraft book that you enjoyed this year. I enjoyed several books this year. That's an understatement. I enjoyed a lot of books this year. I enjoyed several tarot/witchcraft books this year. But one that stands out in my mind as a tarot book that I really enjoyed is Red Tarot, A Decolonial Guide to Divinatory Literacy by Christopher Marmolejo. This is just quite unlike anything I've read in terms of a tarot book. It is not a tarot how-to. It is really a series of kind of reflections, meditations on the cards that draw on decolonial, anti-racist, feminist theory. And I think that it is so well done. I think it's beautifully written. I think that it is an amazing contribution to tarot scholarship, maybe, if we want to say that. I would like to read this again. I think that this is something that I will absolutely revisit. I've underlined and starred and made pencil comments quite a bit throughout. I really cherish this book. I think that it's really special. And so this is one that really stands out to me as one that I enjoyed this year. Favorite video that you've made for your channel is the next prompt. I feel like I've had fun. I've made things that I had fun filming for sure. Two things that came to mind for this prompt though are my video on geomancy tools, how I work with geomancy and kind of what my geomancy practice looks like. That's a favorite because it's one that I'd wanted to do for quite some time, and I feel like it's only this year where I'm starting to, I do feel competent as a reader of geomancy in such a way that I would make geomancy content. I feel beyond beginner at this point. It is a regular part of my practice to read geomancy. So I had fun, finally getting there. I also feel like there's just not a lot of geomancy content on YouTube compared to tarot content, for example. So I feel like it's a contribution to something that, I wish there was more of. I also had a ton of fun doing Punk as Fuck decks VR to Wesley at 22 Zines. That one was a VR that was maybe like 2 years after the original video, which I don't even think was a tag, but I had a lot of fun making that video for sure. So those are the ones that stand out as favorite videos that I made in 2024. The last question is goals for the channel for 2025. So for 2024, I did share some kind of New Year's resolution style goals specifically related to YouTube, some of which I have satisfied, I would say, and some of which I have not. I feel completely fine about that. I'm not really setting channel goals for 2025 because, as previously mentioned, I'm feeling complicatedly about YouTube as a platform in ways that are, I don't want to say new, but exacerbated, we'll say. So I don't want to make any commitments necessarily. In terms of goals for 2025 for my channel that I would say I have, though, I would like to take all pressure off in terms of regularity. I feel like I'm probably going to shift away from the end of month recap because it's date specific and into what some other channels that I really like have been doing and sharing just kind of periodic videos of these are some things that I'm enjoying right now, or like these are the last couple of new decks I got in, or these are some great books that I've read recently. Maybe not so scheduled as monthly. Certainly there will be some monthly monthly reading videos around particular month-long readathons and things like that, but I think like committing to every single month is not a thing that I'm going to do this year. So that's kind of an anti-goal. I have the goal of YouTube not coming to feel like a job. This is completely unrelated to, unattached to anything that I do for a living or anything that I have done for a living. YouTube is entirely a hobby for me. And so I want to not put pressure on myself that makes it feel like work. That's a goal. I don't want YouTube to feel like work. I aspire in 2025 to share content that I feel good about, share things I'm excited about, share things I'm enjoying, share things I feel like are important to articulate in this particular space. I want to share a mix of kind of fun, light content like tags and VRs and things like this, and maybe some more planned, more in-depth kind of detailed book reviews and things like this that are more structured, perhaps more serious. I don't know that that's exactly quite the dichotomy that I'm getting at. Just kind of a mix of content, like fun, and also some informative, and also some thought-provoking, and also other kinds of feelings like that. I want to have a mix of things on my channel as the mood calls to me in terms of sharing things here. And I want to, via my channel, continue to get to meet and chat with and get to know tarot enthusiasts, that we can share our shared interests together in a good way, make some friends. That's why I joined to begin with. And, having folks to talk tarot with and to connect over tarot and divination more generally with is always going to be my goal here. So that is End of Year Reflections by Brittany, Priscilla, and Alana. Again, I will post a link to the original video and the creators' pages, channels down below in the description box. And I will see you again soon. Happy New Year.